All right. Do we have people coming in, or is this being streamed somewhere?
Oh, we are on live already stream.
Gotcha. All right. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Jackson, and me and Rami here in the chat are going to be helping kind of foster this workshop today. This is an introduction to getting building on Metis. I'm here from the cookbook.dev team, and we help people source and build off protocols, and Rami is here from the Metis team. Here's a little bit about ourselves. I'm a developer and entrepreneur in the Web3 space. I've been working in crypto for about 3 years now, building a ton of different projects in every single aspect of crypto, including DeFi, NFTs, gaming, marketplaces, on-chain analytics, and more. And I'm currently leading developer relations for CookBook.
What a coincidence. I'm also an engineer and in the Web3 space. And I come from a cybersecurity background. And currently I'm leading the Metis DevRel team. And I worked on a variety of projects and integrations, mainly focused on wallets and ownerships. And ownership on chain. I did the Metis Stake, which is a multi-signature wallet for Metis network. I worked also previously on some DeFi protocols and mainly on Web3 entities. And I love coding every day.
That's amazing, Rami.
Yeah.
And
Thank
so,
you.
yeah, we've got two very technical people up here kind of leading this workshop, which is always fantastic. And the way that it's going to work is going to start out by just going through a bunch of introductory terms in terms of blockchain development, things that are really important to know to get started. And then Rami is going to come here and explain layer twos, as well as Metis, blockchain, what differentiates Metis, and why you should be interested in building. And then we're going to do a little bit of a workshop where we're going to be finding a contract and deploying it onto the Metis Andromeda testnet, showing you guys just how quick and easy that is. So without further ado, going to go ahead and get started on it. So some blockchain development terms that you may need to know, and we're going to start from the basics here. But off the top, we've got smart contracts. And a lot of people, you hear this term get thrown around left and right. They power the dApps that are under the entire Web3 ecosystem. But at their core, what they really are is these automated self-executing contracts where the terms of the contract are directly written into code. And so what does that mean? It means that they facilitate transactions, and it means that they ensure that conditions are met before any kind of action is taken. And so say you want to buy an NFT off of OpenSea, you go ahead and you pay for that transaction, but what you're actually doing is it's all happening at once. The contract is making sure that you have the assets in your wallet that are needed to pay, and that the contract you're interacting with holds the NFT, and only when those conditions are met does that transfer happen. And it all happens instantaneously. So you can know that nothing's going to happen where your funds are just going to get taken out of your wallet, or that NFT is just going to get swapped. Both parties, without relying on a trusted intermediary, can know that action is going to take place. And so it removes intermediaries. It increases security with the whole cryptography and relying on blockchain technology. And it offers transparency and immutability. So all of these smart contracts fully visible on the blockchain. And if you can read code, then you can know exactly what it's doing at any given time. And yeah, that's kind of like the fundamentals of smart contracts. So moving on, we've got dApps. And dApps is a simple one. It's decentralized combined with apps conjugated together. And so they're any application that runs on a decentralized network, such as the Metis blockchain. Instead of relying on a server to power the application, they use blockchain technology, and as a result, they're more trustless, they're more censorship resistant, they're more transparent. Some of the key factors involved in dApps are control. They're not controlled by a single entity. Instead, they're controlled by the blockchain. They're deployed and released onto the blockchain. And you can go in and see if a user has a certain amount of leverage or power over a dApp by reading through the source code and seeing what the owner is able to do. And a lot of applications on the blockchain actually have control renounced over them. You'll see NFT projects or ERC20 projects that are released, and they'll have actually a function to renounce full control by the owner. So they can't call any type of administrative functions over it, and it's fully on chain. And you'll see a lot of DAOs running this way. dApps are also similarly to smart contracts, very, very defined by having a high amount of security and transparency. And of course, that's dependent dApp to dApp. Ideally, in the blockchain space, you want to use something that's been audited, that's been battle tested, and you can get that level of security from them. Next up, we have interoperability. And interoperability sounds really complicated, but at its core, it's just the ability for different protocols or different blockchains to interact with each other. It's building things off of each other. So that's why you hear the term kind of money Legos thrown around. Because one of the things that's really unique to the blockchain space is it allows applications to be built interoperable. And so as the blockchain ecosystem continues to grow, it allows new protocols to be built on top of existing protocols, leveraging the technology that they use in different trustless ways. And so you've got entire ecosystems that are built up, like core protocols like Aave that allow other protocols to be built on top of them, building this entire ecosystem. And similarly, you have protocols like OpenSea, an NFT marketplace, where other NFT projects can build and interact directly with them without their permission or their consent. One of the amazing things that this allows in the blockchain space is enhancing scalability across a huge different number of projects, because it doesn't require you to get permission from somebody to build something on top of their protocol that directly integrates with it. You can just go ahead and build it. And so this helps with boosting innovation and improving user experiences. People can keep building, keep innovating on what already exists without needing to go and get permission from all the people that originally wrote it. Next up, we've got security. And security, obviously something incredibly crucial to the crypto world, as there's a lot of financial information, there's a lot of transactions and money being sent place to place. So you want to make sure that your applications are secure. You want to make sure that if you're doing a smart contract, that it's bug-free. You want to be doing a lot of tests individually on it. You want to be getting audits on it, making sure that that there's no way that people are going to be able to pull those funds out, use reentrancy attacks, and et cetera on there. You want to make sure, a common thing in the space, avoiding phishing attacks. That people will often deploy a dApp, deploy a smart contract online that looks like something else, but will actually lead people astray. And then similarly on that same thing, you want to make sure that you have good private key management. That's also something very unique to the blockchain space, making sure that your users know how to take care of their private keys so that they always have control of their wallets and full custody of what they're using in the space. Next up, we've got governance. And governance in the crypto world is the decision-making process that guides development and management of different platforms. And I'm sure Rami will be talking a little bit about it when he goes into Metis, because Metis is at its core a DAO and relies on different types of governance to make sure that the protocol keeps moving forward. But it's something that's essential and very unique to the blockchain space in terms of allowing different people to be able to come together and contribute to the long-term vision of a protocol and a project. You see these projects launching tokens that allows, oh yeah, Rami?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, okay, I just saw you unmuted. I wasn't sure if you wanted to pop in for a second. Yeah, but yeah, it allows people to independently have token ownership of a protocol or a project they're using and actually vote on the given direction of it at any point in time. And its important lies in its ability to do a couple things. And one is foster trust and transparency within the ecosystem. So allow people to come together and vote together on a common good. And this is something that tokens do an amazing job of, because it directly ties financial incentive with the ability to vote for control of a project. which is just this incredible pathway of alignments where people, by owning it, they actually have a stake in what's happening. And also by owning it, they get to vote and control the direction that protocol owns. And so you get two aligned incentives that allow people to push anything that they're participating on in the direction that they think is the best for it, something really core to the entire concept of governance. And another amazing thing about crypto is we have these on-chain governance systems, things like Snapshot, which take on-chain records and then can enact immediate actions on what people throughout the Web3 and crypto space vote on. So people can go ahead and vote on token allocation to X kind of fund, put in a wallet that it would get sent out to. The user, the community, votes with the tokens that they own, and then the result of that is immediately acted out. No matter who in the organization doesn't like it, it will still happen, much to the power of decentralization and governance. All right, last on my list of blockchain development terms here, we have NFTs. I'm sure almost everybody, probably everybody listening to this, familiar with the concept of NFTs. At their core, they're unique digital assets that represent ownership of anything specific. And so they're these receipts that live on the blockchain. They hold metadata and they can be used for an immense variety of purposes. We've all seen NFTs kind of blow up throughout this past year. And what makes them unique from tokens is that they're indivisible. You can't split an NFT into multiple pieces, like you can split a Bitcoin into multiple Satoshis. They're just one, and then beyond that, they're verifiable and they're stored on a blockchain, which ensures that you have provenance and that true ownership and authenticity around the individual items. Now, there's a lot of different use cases we've seen for NFTs. We've got digital art, we've got collectibles, we've got virtual goods, we've got intellectual property. And I feel like right now we're still just scratching the surface of what NFTs are capable of. And there's a lot of people building incredible new protocols to push the boundaries of that in a variety of different ways. And I know there's a couple individual projects doing that on the Metis blockchain. And so that's all for me in the blockchain development terms. Rami, if you'd like to take over, talk a little bit about L2's, Metis, and some of the cool projects being built within the ecosystem.
Yes, thank you, Jackson, for the clear and concise introduction about blockchain. So L2's layer 2 solutions. First, before we speak about layer 2's, in case anyone here is not familiar with what is the layer 1 in the first place. A layer 1 blockchain like Ethereum is a blockchain network where it is like the primary network that processes and validates the transactions on its own, or like the consensus or the people who are running the network would validate the transactions. And due to the high security of the network, to make the network decentralized, it takes like a lot of security measurements, which have impacted the speed of the execution of the layer 1 network of the Ethereum network. So Ethereum right now stands at an average 30 transactions per second, which is one of the reasons why it's still like not exactly heavily adopted as it should be. And here comes the role for layer 2s, which are networks very similar to the Ethereum network, for example, which run off the Ethereum network, run outside of it, like we call it off-chain, of the Ethereum chain. And what happens in what do we do at layer 2 networks? We execute some transactions. We would have some sort of consensus also for the layer 2 network, and we would execute some transactions off the chain and then batch them in some batches and take them to the layer 1 chain. We do that to increase the throughput of the layer 1 chain, to take some load off the layer 1, make it more scalable. And so, yeah, we're the first step to adoption. And Metis, of course, is a layer 2 solution. We are a smart L2, which rolls up some transactions. So like you would send some transactions on the Metis network, and in some period, during some period of time, we take some blocks. All right, like the network, you can say the network takes some blocks and publish them to the Ethereum network. And yeah, that's how we go to the Ethereum network. That's how we take our transactions there. Also, Jackson mentioned that we really care about governance. Yes, governance is one of our quirks, of course. It's one of the quirks of every blockchain, because when you're trying to decentralize everything, you need to have the community, you need to have the people to vote on the decisions, to vote on what matters, and to actually execute in the blockchain, to execute some proposals. And like Jackson mentioned, there are some proposals which are executable. For example, sending a transaction or deploying some contract or something. The community decides these big decisions. And for now, we have the community ecosystem governance, which allows the community to vote for verifying projects that come into the Metis chain. And the verified projects, of course, can also participate in the governance after they are verified. They can have some support from the Metis network, have some like grants, for example, some social media help. And so yeah, that's about governance also. And now we're going to talk about how we can deploy contracts on the Metis blockchain, just like we can deploy contracts on the Ethereum blockchain. But I think starting at Metis blockchain would be much easier for us as beginners, as it's very cheap chain, very fast, also, and reliable. So Jackson, I will give you the stage here.
Yeah, thank you, Rami. That was a great explanation, and totally agree. And you're going to be seeing in this upcoming workshop just a little bit about the speed of the blockchain, especially compared to things like the traditional Ethereum network. And so we're going to be going through a build real quick. And some of the things we're going to be talking about is going to be sourcing contracts, going through the creation, deploying on testnets, a little bit about different IDEs and why you might want to use them, how you might want to edit these smart contracts, and then go through deploying the smart contract edits and management, the entire kind of development workflow. We're going to be going to CookBook, and this is the platform that I run. You can use it to find, source, and get building on any kind of contracts. And as you can see, we've got a lot of different contracts here that you can get started off of. So say you're looking for a traditional kind of token that you want to launch, just a standard ERC20. And we can start with this one right here from OpenZeppelin. We've got a burnable ERC20 token that allows token holders to destroy tokens in a way that can be recognized on-chain and off-chain. And so what this means is we're going to be able to create this, and then also the owner will have the ability to burn these ERC20 tokens, which removes them from supply. Over here, we have the ability to open in Remix. If you're not familiar with Remix, Remix is an in-browser development environment. So if I go ahead and click on that, then it will take me right into Remix with this exact contract, and I can go in and start making changes directly to the code. The documentation and source code is over here on the left, but what we're looking to do right now is a no-code deployment. This is the simplest way to get started playing around, building with smart contracts. And I'm going to go ahead and call this Metis Test, MTSTST. So you get to put a name and then a symbol. This is going to be what represents your contract when it's alive and running on the blockchain. And I'm going to go ahead and want 1 million of these tokens. And then right over here, you have the precision. And so this is how many decimal places, how divisible is this? Standard in Solidity, you want a precision of 18. That's just kind of what the community has come to. There are tokens with more or with less, but we're going to go with 18 for here. And then if you're doing an NFT, it has 0 precision because it's not divisible. It cannot be broken down into smaller components. But here I'm going to go into picking a chain. And if I go to the testnet, I can find the Stardust testnet right here. And it's going to want to get me to try to connect to Stardust. And it is not popping over. So one thing that you can do, we have this link to the Metis faucet. I can go ahead and get some Stardust Metis. But first, I'm going to want to change my chain. And so Chainlist over here is a fantastic website where you can go ahead and add networks directly to your wallet. And here I'm going to go ahead and connect my wallet and add the Metis Stardust network. It looks like it's not wanting to
this is
here.
not the one. You should add the 5999. This is the old one.
The Metis
one. Yeah.
Okay. That's amazing. Let me go ahead and push that on.
Also, I think that's an issue from MetaMask. The latest upgrade had an issue with switching networks. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and just do a live on-chain deployment then, and you guys can see the speed and the kind of like cheapness of going ahead and actually deploying something on mainnet, because I do not want to get into the nuances of trying to bug fix my MetaMask live on stream. But yeah, let me go back over to the main platform and just get this going on the live Metis main network. Obviously, in traditional code, this is something that you want to do after going through making the changes you want, making sure that this fits into the DApp that you want to build, deploying it on testnet, integrating to your website, doing a lot of bug testing. But just due to how fast, how cheap the Metis main network is, it's not that big of a sacrifice for me to go ahead and do a mainnet deployment. Looks like the property is in the middle of reading send transaction. Let me go ahead and refresh this page. It might have been a little bit messed up going back and forth there. All right, Metis test, TST, and then a supply of 1 million, deploy on the Metis mainnet. And you can't see right now, but it just opened up my MetaMask. I've got an estimated gas fee for this entire contract deployment of just 28 cents, 0.00962 Metis. If you contrasted that with trying to, I've got it right here in my wallet, and I can actually start interacting with it. And so that's how easy it is to just get started with playing around, even on the mainnet. I can go in and manage my contract. You take your time deploying on testnet because you don't want to come and mint your main token to find out that you actually just minted a single fraction of one instead of bringing 1 million of them live. Yeah, so the way that you would do something like that is by going through to manage the contract, or to find the contract, and to take it into a platform like Remix. You can do that through right here, or through any other IDE. So we've got IDEs such as Hardhat, such as Foundry, and these are development environments where you can go in and actually make changes to the code. And so in a normal development process, I'd want to go through this. I would want to make adjustments to anything. It's a very simple contract here, so I probably wouldn't be making anything. But if you're looking for something like a marketplace, something like an NFT project of your very own, you're going to be wanting to change things like the token URI, certain aspects of that contract to really fit and get modified to your vision and what you're looking to do in the blockchain space. Again, write testing suites, deploy it onto testnet, integrate it with your DApp, and run through it with a bunch of different test users before going through and taking something to mainnet like I just did. But in essence, that's how simple it is. You guys saw, you can get started with building on Metis just like that. Even being on the less technical side, you can get an NFT token project off the ground. You can get an ERC20 token project off the ground. Rami, it'd be really cool, I think, for you to talk about some of the ways that Metis is going through and supporting some of the new projects going on. I know we recently went through you guys' like kind of MetaStack program, and there's been a lot of like support for that. I know you guys do a lot of support and encouragement to help ecosystem projects get off the ground.
Yes, of course. We really like to encourage new projects, up and coming projects who have like nice ideas to bring to the ecosystem, to actually come to the ecosystem with grants, with developer help. Like we offer developer hands, we offer a lot of things, a lot of incentives to join the ecosystem. We a lot of times we have hackathons which like help new developers, new projects to come to the ecosystem. Actually, that's how I came to Metis like 2 years ago in the Metis hackathon, late 2021. It was amazing. I created the multi-signature wallet, and I got a lot of support from the community, from the Metis team, the core team, and yeah, it's been lovely ever since. Yeah, I encourage everyone to like contact us, reach out to us, and if you have a nice idea that you want to execute, to deploy on the chain, you can just feel free to reach out to us, and we'll tell you, hey, nice idea.
Yeah, and I've seen that firsthand myself, coming through and interacting with the Metis team, seeing you guys at different hackathons, sponsoring events, being on the floor, helping builders get started. And it's a great layer to build on in terms of the team, but also in terms of the technology that's behind it. I know there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that I can't really be talking about. I know you guys have been doing some heavy work.
Heavy work,
to really even,
and
yeah,
a lot of opportunities. It's still very early to join Metis. Like unlike, for example, Ethereum, there's everything on Ethereum, but on Metis, there's a lot of things, a lot of like places that you can feel on the Metis network. A lot of good ideas that can join us.
Yeah, and the team is doing everything they can to help support and bolster those projects going through. And that's a little bit of what we're doing here. So this is one of a series we're looking to do on helping get people started building in the Metis ecosystem. We're looking to do a couple more workshops in the future, getting more into the technical side. And so right now we showed just going through a no-code deployment tool, how easy it is and how fast and cheap it is to build on the Metis ecosystem. But we're interested in hearing what you guys have to say. So we'll be sending out a feedback form where you guys can shoot over your ideas, what you're interested in building, and we'll go through the process of showing you guys how to actually build those projects. And so you can get through every single step of getting a project idea, into developing something, into reaching out to the Metis team, looking for some ecosystem support, getting help with the promotion and growth and building of your project, and eventually launching a successful project on Metis. And
Thank you.
yeah, I believe that's it.